Hello all you beautiful people. Welcome to chapter 3 of our Colouring Outside the Lines spiritual practice series. As we begin, let's do another check-in with ourselves. What is happening in your body? Is it feeling relaxed and capable, or is it agitated and depleted? What's happening in your heart? Is it full or empty, open or closed? What's happening in your mind? Is it distracted and spinning out, or is it calm and clear? Connect with your deepest, most authentic self. Do you feel that you can show up fully, authentically and courageously? Or are you feeling the need to withdraw, hide and protect your truest self? Once again, as you prepare yourself for this practice, ask what you need most today to be at home in your skin and in your life. Set an intention and open yourself to receive what you need. And now focus on where you are in both your external space and your internal space. What's making you feel safe and comfortable and relaxed? Are there any challenges or longings or movements within you that feel like they're threatening your comfort and safety? How can you release them while we do this practice? And so now sit in silence for a while and connect with your whole self. Listen to what your body, heart, mind, and spirit are saying to you, and try to release anything that makes you feel insecure or unsafe. And if you can't, that's okay. But maybe you can just try and dial down even just a little the anxiety and the urge to fight, flee, freeze, or fawn. And now allow the divine presence and peace to fill you. Let's take a moment in silence as we do that. So who are the people your mother warned you against? Who are the ones that your faith community told you to avoid? In the church and youth groups of my youth, atheists were those people. They were everything that is wrong with the world. But then I met a friend's cousin who didn't believe in God, and he was really nice. We got on so well and we laughed through our whole time together. And then I met another atheist, and over the years I met many others. Once I even had a conversation online with an atheist where we were speaking about God and grace and the world, and when we reached the end, we realized that our thinking was actually pretty similar. So much so that I found more in common with him than with many believers I knew. But atheists weren't the only those people in my religious upbringing. A close second were people of different religions. And I soon learned that they were also not nearly as scary as I'd been told. And then there were gay people. And growing up in South Africa during apartheid, there were, of course, people of different races and communists who were usually seen as the same thing. So who are the people you've been warned against? Who are those people that you're supposed to avoid? It doesn't take much to recognize that these otherings are false and meaningless. How many stories in books and movies have been based on relationships between people who shouldn't ever have connected? Pocahontas, The Mission, and The Shape of Water are three that come to mind, but there are a great many more. This othering is essentially about control. The New Testament Pharisees' problem with Jesus was that he ignored their controls and spent time with lepers, tax collectors, and prostitutes, those sinners, those unclean people. See, othering is about controlling those others, but it's also about controlling us, ensuring that we aren't influenced by foreign ideas, ensuring that we don't step out of the cohesion of our group. This is how philosopher and historian René Girard explains our need to other those people. We need to keep our communities strong and united. We need to ensure that violence within our community doesn't rip us apart. And the best way to do that is to have a common enemy. And so we create scapegoats of others and we direct our violence toward them which reduces the violence and division in our ranks. Trumpism is a classic case study in the success of this strategy within both the Republican Party and the religious right in the USA. You see, you can't fight othering. You can't debate it or try to change those who impose it. Othering is not a rational, logically worked out perspective. It's emotional and subconscious, and it is self-perpetuating, which means it's built on and supported by social systems that are very difficult to resist. Othering teaches us to think of those people as other, as different. It teaches us to focus on that difference and how bad it is. And it teaches us to look for evidence that confirms our bias against them. You see, look at what they do. But while we can't fight this othering, we can opt out of it. We can refuse to play by its rules. We can choose deliberately to shift our perspective and explore what is the same rather than what is different. Imagine if we all approached one another with curiosity and openness instead of fear and suspicion. The most powerful way to heal ourselves of the disease of othering is simply to get to know those people. Studies have shown that we become less prejudiced against certain groups of people, LGBTQIA plus people, for example, when we know someone from that group. Inevitably, when we step out and meet those people, we become one of them in some way. We're changed, like in the movie Avatar, or in Dances with Wolves, which is basically the same story based in the historical American West rather than a future other planet. Inevitably, the people we think will be scary and the changes we resist end up liberating us and helping us discover parts of ourselves that we didn't know about or that we had denied. See, othering doesn't only hurt those people, it robs us of the creativity, discovery, richness, joy, and wonder that comes when we connect with and learn from one another. Our worlds become small and monochrome and predictable when we stay locked into our othering. They may feel safer, but they aren't really. It's relationship and getting to know one another that brings us safety. But it also sets us free and expands our world, opening it up so that we can see and experience what a truly colorful and wonderful place it is. It's heartbreaking for me that a religion based on one of the most inclusive people in history, Jesus the Christ, should have been responsible for so much othering. And it angers me that the church of our time is so often a loud voice of judgment against anyone who doesn't fit a white, Western, Christian, patriarchal, heterosexist, cisgendered straitjacket. It goes without saying that this is the reason, or at least one of the strong reasons, why so many people are leaving the church never to return. And it challenges me to be part of a new spiritual movement that rejects othering and celebrates difference. So let's make this a little more personal, shall we? Who is an other to you? What differences do you focus on that seem bad or scary to you? What would it mean to shift your perspective to see what is the same, what you share with them? And how might this expand your world and enrich your life? Who is an other that you could reach out to and get to know? If you're an extrovert, perhaps you can actually meet them and take them out for coffee. If you're an introvert and that feels too overwhelming, maybe you can connect with them online, on social media, in a group, or even just reading about them. We've had enough othering in our world. We've been too willing to reject those people, whoever they may be. And we cannot find our best selves and our best lives if we constantly divide and destroy our world because of our differences. It's time for a new way of being together. It's time to recognize that our most meaningful, vibrant, and fulfilling lives can only be found together. And our spirituality will never heal us and liberate us unless and until it welcomes those who can teach us what we cannot learn on our own. And that, of course, is those people. And so once again, take a moment to breathe deeply and take note of what caught your attention in today's meditation. Ask yourself why these things specifically connected with you, and maybe stop and write them down quickly so you don't lose them. Then when you're ready, reflect on your responses to the challenge to embrace those people. And again, these same two questions may help you. Firstly, what 3 things do you fear when you consider connecting with those people and stepping into their worlds? And secondly, what 3 things can you do to allay these fears and silence them a little? Think about that for a moment. And now as you carry this practice into the rest of your week, I encourage you to stay engaged with your reflections by using the spiritual practice we spoke about in chapter 1. In your journal, on your computer, write about how you could put your insights from this meditation into practice, but writing as if you were a journalist, reporting the story of your experience. And this week it's the experience of rejecting any tendency to othering in yourself and welcoming those people. As you write, seek a more objective perspective on your thoughts and experiences and stay open to any new insights that emerge. You can write the whole report at once and then go back and reflect on it each day, or you can let the writing extend through the week and add just a little bit each day. Just remember to write mindfully, non-critically, and freely. Thank you for taking the time to share in this practice, and I hope you found it meaningful. And may you be able to show up a little more fully, authentically, and courageously in your life and relationships this week.